Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out this episode of Really Dicey. This is Manny, and I'm here with Vander. And today we're going to talk about Draconic options, a new set of stuff from Unearthed Arcana from Wizards of the Coast to try out and see if it works out for your campaign. And depending on your feedback, who knows what they're going to plan to do with this. I have some good ideas, though, but let's not talk about that just yet. This edition, Draconic options, is filled with a bunch of things. It has uh, three species for Dragonborn now that you can choose instead of the traditional one they have in the player's handbook. Now you can pick Kobold as well. There's some new feats and there's a bunch of spells. Um, so let's talk first about Dragonborn.
Hell yeah. For the most part, I mean, chromatic and metallic, they didn't do a lot of new stuff. A lot of it's really the same. So you pick your color or your metal. You have your resistances and your breath weapon. But now at third level, they gave some new capabilities where, with the chromatic dragonborn, you have something called chromatic warding, where uh, you basically for 10 minutes you become immune to the damage that you normally have resistance to, which like it's limited. Like if you're a black dragonborn and you have acid resistance compared to like fire, it's probably not going to be as useful. But still, on the off chance you're like inside like a shambling mound made of acid or something, it could be super useful. And then for metallic dragonborns, they got their own upgrade, which was a breath weapon, an additional breath weapon, I should say. So this works more towards their kind of like separating the two, I guess. They're just like, we want more individuality on each for these specific things. So now your breath weapon can do potentially two other things. You can either push people away with a strength saving throw 20 feet and knock them prone, which pretty baller. And then they can make a constitution save and become incapacitated if they fail, which again, really baller. That's like pretty solid for like a mid-fight scenario or a lot of scenarios, but like in combat that could be insanely helpful. Do you want to talk about the new gem dragonborn stuff?
Dragons are at least in wording is sort of similar to metallic and chromatic, but they get some different abilities. They get probably the one thing that stands out is sonic mind. They are now able to send telepathic thoughts to your to other characters. They can't characters can't speak back to them, but they can project their thoughts, whatever they need to say to other characters. Interesting. Uh, and at third level, they get gem flight. And now they could get so in their gem ancestry, just like in chromatic and metallic, there's like five options. There's amethyst, crystal, emerald, sapphire, topaz, or damage type, force, radiant, psychic, thunder, necrotic. In gem flight, at their level, you sprout the wings based on the gem. So if you're topaz, you have these like black shiny wings, and you fly. And I believe you temporarily summon them and they last for 1 minute. And and besides that, you get draconic resistance based on the damage type associated to your gem ancestry. Um, Visually, it sounds cool. You know, I don't know. But I guess we could talk about where we do. You want to talk about what if this is good or bad yet, or
Yeah, I think that's insanely powerful. And like as far as like gem one, you have a very unique resistance type, so like could be really useful, could not be. It really depends on the campaign and what you're running into. But um, getting the gem flight, I mean, if you're a monk, just a normal monk, and you take this, it affects your flying speed. So if you're a barbarian or monk who just upgrade your speed over time, you could have 50, 60 foot flying speed just being a dragonborn that also does some type of monk monastic tradition, which I think like pretty cool. Like I mean, as far as like a free ability for starting off, it's pretty good.
the flight is probably the best thing about this. Sonic Mine is cool. Um, uh, but just like the rest of them, they all have some sort of draconic resistance, and they all have a standard breath weapon that they
Yeah,
start with.
which is good.
Um,
I mean, you're playing a dragonborn, you probably want that. Like that's just like a thing. Like you came here to breathe a dragon breath on people. That's why you wanted to play this. Like,
Yeah, I'm very cool with the variations. I wish there were more. Not gonna lie, I wish there were much more because I mean, D&D has a history of all types of dragons
yeah,
available. Um, but it's a good start, I guess.
yeah. But we also have the kobolds, which again, not insanely exciting in any specific terms. All of them, I guess we should have mentioned this first, because they're going with the division of racial and ancestral and cultural traits. There are no +2 to strength, +1 to charisma, or any of that stuff. It's you get your attributes later, your ability scores later. You just get the abilities that you ancestrally would have because of racial features. So, dark vision, speed, size, those things that are relative to the race you're choosing. But for kobolds, nothing crazy impressive. They have basically like tactics, pack tactics. I swear I can speak. With the Draconic War is basically their version of having pack tactics, which kobolds in general have anyways. So now, as a bonus action, you can let out a roar within 10 feet of an enemy, and anybody who is trying to attack that enemy now has advantage. So if you have rogues or monks or barbarians in your party, that could be insanely helpful for those hits. You can use as many times as your proficiency bonus, which I think is a really good way to be doing this. And I'm glad that they're finally using proficiency bonuses more, because that's literally what they've been using for scaling, and then they decided to stop using it for scaling stuff. But they're back at it again. How about kobolds? What are you thinking of the kobold?
Um, um Kobolds, I don't know why they don't. I mean, wow me, especially if you have Dragonborn as a choice now. But for going back to this, Draconic Legacy is cool that you could choose one sort of ancestry trait to carry with you. You can have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end being frightened. Or instead you could have one cantrip of your choice, or you could make an unarmed strike with your tail. Um, it's okay, it's cool. I like those options. Um, but it's that's pretty much it. I mean, pretty much it's standard. It's considered a small sized creature, has dark vision, um, normal speed. It's fine as is.
Yeah, if you specifically want to play a small dragon for a reason, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why it's here. It'd be nice if they gave it more variety, like they did dragons, because there's different colored kobolds that are worshiping these dragons. So why not?
That's a great point. And I agree with you. Maybe if they did that, I would be more excited about it. But it just seems, um, I don't know. It's good. It's good. It's just it doesn't. It's a good standard ancestry. It just doesn't really wow me at the
Yeah.
same time. Doesn't excite me.
Do any of the feats excite you? See that segue? Segue.
Well, Gift of the Chromatic Dragon, one of the feats featured here, is it's not bad. As a bonus action, you could make one of your weapons into have the same type of damage by whichever chromatic dragon you choose: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. Does an extra d4 damage when you hit something. And also, you can also take resistance to that type of damage as well. If you combine that with some other things, depending on what class and race you choose, it could be pretty devastating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like we should have opened with, all of the feats, as far as we can tell, are not stating that you need to be a dragonborn or a kobold for it. So you could be a human with these gifts from a chromatic metallic gem dragon or something else entirely.
And what did you think of the Gift of the Metallic Dragon, the counterpart
So
to
I
Gift?
really I like metallic dragons. I enjoy chromatic dragons as villains sometimes. I very much like metallic dragons. They very much have like protect and like they're just the be good version, and I enjoy that. So like they get cure wounds, which is great. And if you have other spell slots from a different spell class, you can use those spell slots to still use cure wounds. So you could be a wizard, and now you have cure wounds, which is like a nice backup. Um, if you were also have a secondary feature where you can make protective wings, which again, for the metallic dragon makes sense. So you get a pair of wings that can like cover over you or someone within 5 feet of you, and basically you can add to their AC, roll a D4, and whatever you roll gets added to their DC. So AC. It's not a big boost, but I'm sure there's plenty of fights that come down to one or two dice rolls that this could be potentially helpful for.
Hmm. I do like of the three feats here. Gift of the Gem Dragon's my favorite. You get plus you get one score increase to your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma to a maximum of 20, of course. And I love that you get as a reaction if you take damage from anyone, you can use your reaction to try to telekinetically push someone away and give them 2d8 force damage as well. And you can use this as many times as you have your proficiency bonus, and you regain them all back after a long rest. So that I like abilities that kind of give you like almost like utility abilities, and the fact that this gives you damage as well is great.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like all the dragon stuff. Excites me quite a bit. I'm very happy that they finally decided to make it official, like make it come back.
Before we end this, let us give you our thoughts about this, and I'll go first. It seems like to me they're introducing this because there looks like I am like 90% certain that because of this they're going to bring back Dragonlance. I'm curious though about what exactly they're going to do, because the thing with Dragonlance is that you have Draconians, and Draconians are evil. There's 5 types, but they're evil, and they're corrupted good eggs from good dragons that become these like half humanoid, kind of like Dragonborn in a sense, but they're just very specific. Each one is different. Each one dies differently by whichever type of egg or gold or metallic dragon that they came from. Like one turns to stone, one blows up in acid. It could be pretty dramatic. So I am excited about it. I mean, they should. I mean, Dragonlance has been a long time coming, in my opinion. It should have been out way before.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Seeing here, I'm not sure exactly where they're going with it, because it's. I guess if they want to update Dragonlance to 5e, I guess they have to do some cultural changes to it, because obviously not all Draconians are going to be evil if they have Dragonborn now. They have to look into that and change that somehow. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I am not high in the lore of Dragonlance. To me, this is just great rehashing of some stuff, specifically Dragonborn. Like I just gem dragons and gem related Dragonborn, I think should be more. I think kobolds should have gotten a lot more too. Like I love Dragonborn. There wasn't anything really wrong with what Dragonborns already had, so they didn't need it as much as kobolds, who don't get a lot, do. Because right now kobolds are basically just treated as almost all the time slaves to powerful Dragonborn or dragons. Like that's just always what they are. So like if they were trying to culturally fix something, maybe fix the kobolds, like because they have a problem, and like this would have been a good time to actually work on that a bit. The feats are great. I think they each they're not crazy powerful for a feat, which is good. Like it's not sharpshooter or great weapon master where you're just doing a bunch of damage, but they're unique, and they have the flavor of chromatic dragons being more attacking, metallic dragons being more protective, gem dragons being more psionic, which seems to just be the theme that they have. And I'll never say no to do spells, because some of these give me great ideas for my own homebrew spells that I'm making. So uh, I'm gladly steal ideas from Unearthed Arcana stuff that's not technically official, so I can't get in trouble for stealing it.
Yeah. So overall, I thought this was a good addition. I like a lot of the options they have here, and I'm very curious to see where they're gonna go
Yeah,
do what
thir-
they're gonna do next with this.
3.5 dragon heads.
Out of 5. Yes. So let us know what you think about these options below. We'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out yourself. And stay safe out there. Have a good day.